Hello friends, and welcome to Natalie's Reptile Room. This is your host.
Hi,
What's your name?
Natalie.
Natalie. And I am your co-host, Kevin. Before we get started, I wanted to give a shout out and we wanted to thank those of you who have subscribed. We have Debbie Ott, Patty Autry, and Trayvon Wells are the new subscribers. So thank you guys very much. Can you thank them?
Thank you.
Say thank you guys.
Thank you guys.
We really appreciate it. There's some other people that have subscribed, but I can't see their names, so I think it's just Dad not knowing how to work the YouTube. But thank you, everyone, sincerely. So as you can see here today, we are getting back into lizards, and not just any lizard. This is our biggest lizard. What's his name? Spyro.
Spyro.
Spyro is a Mangrove Monitor, and obviously he is the largest pet reptile that we do have. And you'll also notice that I'm wearing gloves for this. Not necessarily because he is bitey, but he has some very big claws on him that I've got enough scars on my hand and I don't need any more.
Wait.
So why don't you go ahead and tell everybody a little bit about Spyro.
So today, we are talking about Spyro, and he is this look like a dinosaur too. And
It's like your Savannah Monitor, right?
yeah,
Except he's a little darker. Your Savannah Monitor is a little lighter.
yeah. And he is a huffy and puffy boy, and he does have a big tongue flicking.
So just as this guy's name implies, the Mangrove Monitor, these guys come from the wetlands, marshes, mangroves of like northern Australia, New Guinea, the Solomon Islands, the Marshall Islands. Some really nice places around the world, right? Don't you wish we could live on a beach?
Yeah.
I wish we could live on an island.
And I wish we could find a venomous lizard.
Well, you just gave away the surprise. So these guys can get to about 3.5 to 4 feet. They can live anywhere up to 20 years, so another long living reptile. And I mean, this guy's already pretty long, isn't he? And you see his tail, how long his tail is. And his tail is huge compared to the rest of his body. Say it's okay, buddy.
Okay, buddy.
So to go off of what Natalie just said before that, if you guys watched our video on the top 10 coolest reptiles of the United States, you would have heard us mention the Gila monster, which is one of, like we said, one of the only venomous lizards in the entire world. However, this guy right here is a venomous lizard. It's been long studied to see if these guys have venom or if it's just like a type of bacteria. If you guys kept up with Komodo dragons, there's a long debate of whether they were venomous or if it was just bacteria buildup. Well, the most recent studies have shown that Komodo dragons monitor a lot of monitor lizards, not all of them, but there's actually quite a few monitor lizards that are venomous, including the Mangrove Monitor here. So being a venomous lizard, I mean, that's pretty cool, ain't it?
Yeah.
What do you think about a venomous lizard?
Maybe not holding him.
Not holding him, you don't want to get bit by him, right?
No.
He's on you.
And
It's alright, buddy.
he wants to bite me.
It's okay, buddy.
It's okay, buddy. Okay.
But no reason to worry about this guy. Their venom is generally harmless to humans. Worst case scenario is if you do get bit by them, you might have some irritation, some redness around the actual bite wound. Generally harmless compared to the teeth of this guy himself, these claws that he has, and his whip-like tail, as you can see. And he will use it like a whip. We're just talking about all of your dangerousness They were just talking about your dangerousness, buddy. You get it. You're tough. You're tough. So these guys are extremely powerful. They have the arms and legs, strong arms and legs for climbing. They've got an incredibly strong tail for swimming. I mean, this guy can do some damage, right?
Yeah.
You've seen what he's done to Daddy when he tries to get away.
Yeah.
He'll put some scratch marks on you, right?
He's okay. He still has much of a claws.
Oh yeah. You can tell how powerful this guy is, can't you?
Yeah.
What do you think about his claws?
What?
You know what they remind me of?
What?
Have you ever seen like Freddy Krueger's glove?
Yeah?
It's kind of like he's wearing Freddy Krueger's glove, isn't he?
Yeah, a little tiny one.
A little tiny one. But he is awesome though,
With
isn't he?
little lizards.
Little lizard. Little dinosaur. So when this guy is mad, he will, or just isn't in the mood, he will certainly let you know, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He likes to puff out his throat, he'll arch his back, he'll pull his tail back. You can tell when he is just agitated and he doesn't want to be bothered. He will use his tail as a whip. He's used that before. Spyro here is a little rough around the edges. We are still working with him though, doing a lot of work trying to handle him and tame him down a bit. We got Spyro when he was already this big. You remember when we first got Spyro?
That was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago, but you remember when we got him, he was already about this big?
No, but I remember when he was this big.
Yeah, that's when we got him, he was already this big. I would never recommend getting an animal that's already almost full grown or a few years old, unless you know the person personally that you purchased them from. You really have no idea the upbringing that they've had for the past few years, how much they were handled, if they were handled at all, the type of environment that they were in. You just don't have any idea of those things. You'll notice that me and Natalie, almost all of our pets so far are babies. And there's a few reasons that we purchase all of our animals as babies. For one, I want all of our reptiles to grow up with Natalie so that she grows up with them and they grow up with her in their life. Even though how long some of them live, they'll be around even when you go off to college, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna take them all with you, right?
Yeah.
You think they'll let you have a lizard this big in your dorm?
Oh, probably not.
Maybe. We'll just sneak them in. No?
Then I will probably get in trouble.
Probably. But for two, you get to know the animal. You get to know their temperament, you get to know their mannerisms, and you get to teach them and tame them down from a young age. And three, you know the environment that they grew up in. You know the environment that you've kept them in from a young age. Like I said, when you purchase them from somebody that you don't know, you really have no idea of the type of environment they grew up in. With a lot of animals, it only takes one mistake for them to be totally untrusting of humans. Accidentally dropping them, shutting their tail in the cage door, something as simple as that. A little mistake can make them not trust you anymore, right? And we don't want that. We want them to trust us, right?
Yeah. And we don't want them to fight us.
Well, that has to do with trust. They gotta trust you. So back on subject of Spyro here. These guys are pretty available. I wouldn't say they are as available as a Nile or a Savannah Monitor, but we've seen them almost at a lot of reptile shows we've been to, haven't we?
Yeah.
Not as many as they've always got Savannah Monitors, right?
Yeah.
We don't see them as much as Savannah Monitors, but like I said, they are pretty available and you can definitely buy them anywhere online. they are also going to cost considerably more than Savannahs and Niles. We've seen them at reptile shows anywhere from like $150 to $250. So be prepared to spend a little more on these guys. But we had to build this guy a custom enclosure. We built his enclosure, right?
Yeah.
It's a pretty good enclosure, isn't it?
Yeah.
You think it's big enough for him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it has to, because it's like it's not the size of the house, but it's big.
As a lizard that can get up to 4 feet long, they're gonna need a pretty big enclosure. Our enclosure is 6 foot by 4 foot by 4 foot, and that does him pretty good. Look at my hands.
You want to bite you.
See him sticking his tongue out?
Yeah. You're not getting my daddy.
And coming from things like the mangroves, wetlands, marshes, they're gonna need quite a bit of humidity. So as always, make sure you get a substrate that is good for holding in humidity. As far as lighting, these guys need a daytime temperature of anywhere from 85 to 90 degrees with a basking spot of anywhere from 95 to 97 degrees. And the nighttime temperatures can get a bit cooler, anywhere from about 75 to 80 degrees overnight. You will also want to give him plenty of hides through their enclosure so that they can hide when they're stressed out or they just don't want to be seen. Where does he like to hide?
In his log.
In his log?
Yeah.
He crawls way up in there and then we can't get him out anymore.
Yeah, but sometimes he gets out.
Sometimes, and then he likes to climb the cage, doesn't he? So mangrove monitors also really like to climb and they really like to swim. So in their enclosure, you have to make it pretty vast. You have to give them plenty of room to climb. And if you watch any like mangrove monitor enclosure builds, or you look up what a lot of people do for an enclosure, these guys are semi-aquatic. And I would say a lot more aquatic than most monitor lizards. If you watch, when you watch those builds, you will notice that they build them a custom water feature. So they need a water feature, not just big enough for them to submerge their body in, but a good place for them to swim in. In the wild, these guys have a very vast diet, which goes anywhere from fish, which we'll get into the diet, but giving them a water feature with fish in it is a great source of food for them. Finally, on to diet. Mangrove monitors have a very vast diet. They will eat anything from fish to eggs, insects, and small mammals. He likes to eat too, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And he's a growing boy.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Grown boy.
His tongue goes out really high.
He's got a huge tongue, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So babies and, look at it. So babies and juveniles should be fed on a daily basis. Smaller items like crickets, mealworms, small insects. As they become adults, they can start to eat from anywhere to every 3 to 4 times a week. But keeping the variety up, because I couldn't imagine eating the same thing every single day, could you?
Yeah.
What if you ate peanut butter and jelly for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every single day?
Yeah, that was not gonna be fun.
You wouldn't like that?
I only like different foods.
Different foods. So you gotta keep variety, right?
Yeah.
So that's it for today, guys, and that's it for Spyro the Mangrove Monitor. If you guys found this informative, if you could, we would greatly appreciate a like on the video, and don't forget to subscribe for our next surprise reptile next week.
And I love you so much. Thank you for watching. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Say bye, Spyro.
Bye, Spyro.
I do.